Which email?
Should be the Ayaba G. I mean Ayaba Griffin. Yeah. Okay. So just click that link, go through the thing, it'll give it permission, and then I'll bring you in. All right, party people. What's going on with y'all? All right, baby. I see you on there. All right, just talking to the missus, getting her pulled into the stream yard and all of that good stuff. So how y'all doing today, party people? All right. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, that is not what I'm looking for. Okay, that's me there. Here it is. All right, let me click on this. All right. Now we popping. All right. All right, y'all can hear me okay? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Everybody should be able to hear me. I double checked my microphone settings this time before getting started, and it shouldn't be a problem with the microphones. Everybody should be hearing me and stuff. All right. Good afternoon. All right. Okay, you can hear me. Cool. All right. So just waiting for the wife to hop on. She's gonna be hopping on StreamYard, so everybody get a chance to chit chat with her, because I know that's who y'all really want to see and everything. So, all right, cool. All right, well, today is Fritter Friday. I'm just enjoying myself. Should have got a trim before I hopped on, but I been so busy and forgot to do all of that and stuff. So, today, as the title. Okay, I'm just making sure I spelled everything right. As the title says, today talking about positioning yourself to learn. And make sure y'all hit the like button. Feel free to share. That was something that me and the wife been talking about and everything. But before we get into that, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's a subscriber, as well as a member who joined the Party People membership team. Here she is. And everything. And there she is. You can hear me okay, babe?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So she's at the salon and everything. So we bring her in via the StreamYard and everything. But both of us, me and her, both want to say thanks to everybody who's a part of this channel, who's subscribed. All of your support, all of your prayers, all of your encouraging words and everything. Really appreciate it. Y'all are awesome. And then, and also special thanks to all those who are members, on the paid member side. Thanks to all of y'all, getting some great information from y'all, a lot of great feedback. Really appreciate each and every one of y'all, because y'all are just awesome. I'm just gonna be for real. Y'all are awesome, and I appreciate y'all. So let me do this. Let's see what I want to do. All right, we'll do that. So I just want to say thanks to each and every one of y'all for hopping on and every stuff over these last 12 months. This year, we've been having a great time, and just really learning some things. But me and my wife, we talk a lot. We talk a lot to each other, which is probably, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, could be somewhat unique because some couples don't talk to each other. But me and my wife, we talk to each other, we hang out with each other. She gives me advice on various different things concerning the business. And then I do the same for her. We encourage each other and everything, and all that. And me and her were just talking about just looking at a year in retrospect for her business as well as mine. Because with her business, which I'm gonna put that up here for y'all. Where is my wife's stuff? There it is. She runs a cosmetology school, sharpen your skills, cosmetology training, and continuing education. Hey, Shantae. Yeah, Shantae saying hey to you, y'all. So,
Hi.
so one of the things me and her, you know, we talk about is learning, you know, people learning. And oh, I'm all excited about all the other stuff. Yeah, I got my baby. My other baby, not, you know, I got her baby, but I got this baby too. Got the Fritter and everything. So slipped out and got that Fritter this morning when I had to go do a house inspection all early. Everything. So Fritter fried to everybody. The fritters are good. Got the good old standard eggnog. The eggnog is popping. Good and cold. Hadn't even popped that top yet and everything. So yeah, matter of fact, when I went to get the donut this morning, as soon as I walked in, one of the ladies back there was like, "Oh, I know what you here for." And the new girl that was on the cash register was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "He wants all those donuts over there." So I guess I'm known now. I need to sponsor me, Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just saying. But one of the things that me and my wife was talking about, and not just recently, but over the years, is, as the title says, positioning yourself to learn. A lot of times we don't put ourselves in a position to actually learn. And learning is you gathering information, the right information, you researching, you studying, all of that. And y'all just sitting up there having some fun in the chat, I see. And you got to position yourself so that when information is available, you're allowing yourself to learn it so that you can grow from what you learn. And one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that somebody can give you an answer, but answers are tied to knowledge. So if there's an answer, it's an answer to a question, and the question that's being asked is based off of the knowledge that you're supposed to get. So somebody says, you know, how do you, you know, however you do something, like with one of her things, you know, how do you do a, you know, a 3-part sectioning, you know, or what are the 5, you told me about the sanitation rules or whatever, you know, the 3 sanitation rules. Well, the answer to those sanitation rules, you had to study sanitation. You had to study something and learn something in order to have the answer to that. The problem that people have is that sometimes they go and they just have somebody give them an answer, but the answer you now have isn't tied to knowledge that you have. It's tied to knowledge that the person who gave it to you has. They have the knowledge, they gave you the answer, but all you have is the answer and you don't have the knowledge. So you don't even look at the questions that's being asked on the test. You're just writing down the answers and you're like, okay, I passed. But then the next time you go take the test, if they switch up the order of the questions, the answer order that you got is the same, but the question order is different, you can easily get thrown off. So you have to take time out to learn information so you can acquire the knowledge to have the answer to the questions that you are posed. And if you don't, then you're going to be stuck and you're going to be scrambling. And now you're going to be in a situation where you could get taken advantage of because people say, oh, well, I'll give you an answer for X amount of dollars. And we see that that's what's happening out here. People are sitting here just paying all kind of money for answers. And then they say, I still haven't learned anything. You see what I'm saying? What you got, babe?
Well, you, like the title says, you want to get yourself in the position to learn. I deal with that a lot. I've dealt with that a lot over the years. What you just said with my students in the past, and sometimes even in the present, where people will want the answers, and a lot of that happens now in the way people teach um, and or receive information. It's more or less, I want the answer for the moment. And if you want the answer for the moment, that that's going to give you what you're looking for in that moment, in that particular time. But is that going to give you what you need for longevity and long-term success, whether it's in the notary industry or any industry that you may be working in or a part of? Um, that's what you want to kind of move away from. You want to be able to learn effectively so that you're not just sitting there going, give me the answer for now. Because when you get in that next situation, when you get in that next signing, when you get in that next, when you're taking the test, and like my husband said, the the question is worded just a little bit differently, and it's not the exact same, question worded the exact same way, worded with the exact same, multiple choice answers for you to just, okay, it's B, okay, it's C, or whatever the situation might be. Now you apply that to the notary industry where documents are different. The document is different for the way that they're laid out, the way that they're set up with different title companies, different signing companies. They have a different way of putting together their document packages. They're different. And unless you're going to be, just dealing with one, signing company or one title company, then that's different. But if you're going to be dealing with multiple signing companies, multiple title companies, then you have to learn your craft. You have to learn how to do your notarial acts correctly. You have to understand them. You have to research, and you have to go beyond just wanting the quick answer, because the quick answer for that moment is going to give you short-term success. It's a shorty, okay? It's a shorty. And that's part of that microwave mentality that is very prevalent in today's time, where people just want to hit it, hit it quick, get up off of it and move on. And that may work for some things, but when you're talking about longevity for success, for the long haul, you have to really get into actually learning information, learning your craft, understanding what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be saying, what you're not supposed to be saying, what you're supposed to be participating in, all of that. All of this is very, very important if you're going to have longevity and success for a long period of time, whether it's in the notary industry or whether it's in some other industry, and especially in business. You can't be in business for yourself and just look to everybody else for the answers. There is going to be times where you're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to read. You're going to have to look at videos. You're going to have to do some self-study. You're going to have to do some asynchronous learning by yourself. That means you're going to have to do some things by yourself. If you're looking at a video, okay, a lot of people binge watch videos, but people love to binge watch when they're looking at things that entertain them. Okay, but when we're talking about actually learning something that you need to take time and invest in for your professional future, people want to kind of get that microwave mentality. But what you got to do is take that same, level of energy and interest that you have when you binge watch a whole season of whatever, show is your favorite, And you need to take that same energy and that same passion and put it over into, learning your craft when it comes to the notary industry or whatever industry you may be in. And that is something that I've had to learn how to do, especially since I've been in business for myself. There's a lot of things that I've had to learn on my own. I've had to learn them on my own through research, through studying. Yes, there's times where I've had to call, the state governing body, the state board for cosmetology, and call them and find out particular answers and make sure that I was doing things the right way and not doing things that were outside of the scope of my license and the things that I have been approved for and licensed for. And this is very, very important, because I think a lot of the things that people are trying to learn, you've got to ask yourself whether it's outside of the scope of what you've been commissioned to do. Okay, for me, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I'm a licensed school owner. Okay, I'm a licensed cosmetology instructor. I'm also approved for related technical instruction for cosmetology apprentices on the private school side. So this is where I am licensed to do. So I have to know the scope in which I am to work. And a lot of times people don't know the scope that they're supposed to stay in, the lane that you're supposed to be in. And so a lot of times people are afraid, they're nervous and stuff like that. Some people are all over the place. And once you kind of streamline things and bring it in, okay, and you really learn what you're supposed to be doing, learn what you're not supposed to be doing, put the time in, read, study. If you're going to watch a video, take notes. Okay, go back and refer to those notes. You may have to watch the video again. But if you're kind of approaching this business like halfway, half stepping, you're going to stay in that semi-confused, scared state all of the time. And you want to move beyond that if you want to have longevity, and then start doing the things that you've learned so far. Start putting those things into practice. If you're just kind of gathering information and being information rich and application poor, you never learn. Okay? You just kind of blow up with information. But there comes a point where you have to get out there and you have to start walking in what you are learning. And a lot of people are just kind of soaking it in day in and day out, and they never really get out there and start doing what they are learning. And that's what we all have to do that. And there are some skills that are transferable from industry to industry, like being on time. That's good for any industry. Okay, being professional, not just saying it, but actually being professional, learning how to dress like a professional. Okay, that works for any industry that you have to learn. Even as being a notary, what are some of the skills that I already have that actually work in the notary industry? And you can hone those even more and sharpen those even more and start applying those. And you just got to think about, what do I already know that I can do, that I have in my toolbox, in my resource, and then build from there. And you do. It is like that old adage, if somebody asks you, can I have a fish? And you just give them the fish, yes, they're going to keep coming back. They're going to keep coming back. But if you teach them how to fish, okay, then they can go and they can catch dinner for themselves. And that's where you want to be. That's what you want to be. And you want to be an active participant in your own success. You don't want to, always be hitching on to somebody else's wagon. Okay? Yeah, there's a time and a place for that. It's when you're first starting out and when you're first learning and you're getting your sea legs, as they say in the military, in the Navy. But after a while, the notary industry, for myself in the cosmetology industry, or whatever industry that you're in, the industry is going to expect you to grow. develop, get better, move forward. And if you don't, you will be pushed out. That's just the way it is. You're either going to grow or you're going to go. That's just the way it is. So you gotta figure out, am I going to put in the work to actually learn, to move from mental assent, where you got it up here mentally, and move from it being up here where it's theory, where it's just head knowledge, and then you start walking it out. That's what we got to do. You got to start, get it from up here and then start and get it here, where you start doing it, where you start walking it out. Now, I'm going to give you an example. In my classroom, this is back in 2009, they came in and they told me, and I may have said this before in another live stream, but they came in and told me literally during my class session, we're taking your dry erase board away from you, and we're giving you a smart board. And I was like, huh? I had everything written on the board, everything from my students that they were supposed to do each day was always written on that dry erase board. That's all we ever had, okay? And they said, we're coming in, and they literally came in, took the dry erase board down and put up the smart board. And they said the next day or what have you was going to be our training. Boom, that was it, all right? So and me and the two other teachers that were working, we were working together at that particular time. We had this training for 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours, the representative from Smartboard came out and trained us for 2.5 hours on how to use this Smartboard. Okay, how to unlock it, how to lock it, how to not have your hands on it at the same time that you're using the pen. Okay, you couldn't use them, you couldn't write with your hand on the board at the same time that you were going to use one of the colored pens. It was all of these little things, and they sounded like they were not that big a deal. But when you're talking about technology, which that's what a smart board is, you've got to understand all of those little details. So he's going through, and me and the two other teachers are listening, and he's just going through his presentation. He's touching the board, and he's like, this is how you do this, and this is how you unlock it, and this is how you write on it with your finger, and this is how you write on it with your pen, and this is what you do when you want to connect in, the technology that goes with it. This is how you use a document camera with the smartboard. All of this in 2.5 hours. This is the only training that we received from the representative that sold this particular piece of technology. So I'm writing because the way that I had to look at it, because what we were using was an actual visual tool. Okay, it's a multimedia tool, but the whole time I'm an auditory learner. So I'm a speaker, listener, learner. Half the time I don't even have to look at you because I'm listening. I'm taking in 70%, of what I'm taking in it in by what I hear, not by what I see. Now, this is me. Other people might be the opposite. For you, you may have to stare at the person and stare and see it over and over and over again. I'm the opposite. And teachers used to get really kind of upset with me because I wasn't looking at them. But I would be writing. And if I don't write, I get bored really quickly. So I have to take notes to stay engaged in what you are saying, in what I am trying to learn. Okay. And so for me, in that particular training, I was like, I got to use this thing tomorrow morning. And I cannot look stupid in front of my teenage students. That was what it was going in my head. So for me, as an instructor in front of 11th and 12th graders, I was like, I had a goal. I was like, I gotta know how to unlock it. I gotta know how to lock it. I gotta know how to, to write on it without, locking it up, because if you touch it with your hand and you touch it with the pen at the same time, okay, it locks up the board. And I had to know that If I'm touching it with my hand, I'm clicking into that mouse feature that is on the board. Now, this is everything that I took in from what I heard. Okay, now this is back from 2009. Now, what I'm sharing with you is called enduring information. Why? Because this is something that I learned in 2009, but I remember it now. If I go up to a smart board now, I can tell you how to use it. Why? Because I learned how to use it. I didn't just go through training. I learned how to use the smart board. And I sat down there and I listened. I hardly asked him any questions. I don't even know if I asked him any questions because I just wrote down. I just wrote down what he said. Wrote down what he said. He gave us a packet. He gave us a packet, and then I wrote down what he said. Now, I might have wrote down the same thing that it was in the packet. I didn't care, but because when you see it, you hear it, you say it, you write it, you are reinforcing information. Okay? So I was writing it down. And then at the end, he was done. Got his stuff, he left. The other two teachers looked at me like, ugh. You know, and I was like, okay. They packed up. They kind of had this look on their face like, oh my gosh. You know, I went across the hall into my classroom, locked the door, and I stayed there for 3 more hours practicing what I was just taught. Because if you don't practice something that you just learned, okay, you'll lose it. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. That's the thing. So I sat there for 3 more hours learning how to lock and unlock, lock and unlock, lock and unlock a smart board, how to write on it without pressing the palm of my hand on the board so it wouldn't lock the board up and I wouldn't be tapping into the mouse feature when I didn't want to be. And all of this sounds like, well, what is the big deal? But how many of you have tried to use technology for the first time and it locked up on you, it messed up, and you try Zoom in 2020 when everybody was getting on it at the same time. And when the whole world was getting on Zoom at the same time, and you had people that knew how to do it, and you had people that didn't. You had people that all you seen was this part of their neck. You seen them like this. You seen them like this because they didn't know it, or you couldn't see them because they didn't have enough light. Okay? Why? Because they had not learned how to use Zoom. Some people had learned how to use it to a degree where somebody sent them a link, okay? And they pressed on it, but that was it. But guess what? All of us had to learn how to use Zoom. We had to learn how to use Cisco WebEx. We had to learn how to use Microsoft Teams. We had to learn how to use Google Chat, okay? We had to. We've got to do it. Yes. And yes, practice. Not only does practice make perfect, but the more you practice it, you've got to practice it right. You got to practice it the right way. Because a lot of times we are doing things over and over and over again, and we're doing it wrong. So what you do daily is what you become permanently. So you've got to remember to whatever you're doing, whatever you're practicing, make sure that you're reinforcing something the right way. You want to make sure that you're reinforcing whatever you're practicing the right way. Okay, now I'm gonna give you another example. I teach finger waving, right? It's one of the hardest things that I teach in my cosmetology program. Most students hate learning how to finger wave. They think it's hard. It's not something that people roll out of the bed knowing how to do. Okay, when I was in cosmetology school 37 years ago, we had to do 50 finger waves before we could graduate. All right, that's a lot of finger waving. All right, I did them on mannequins, and I did them on real people. And I said, I am going to do these 50 finger waves, and when I get out of school, I am never going to do a finger wave again. I'm never going to do it. And what I was doing, though, I was taking on the attitude of the people around me. Now, I want you to get this, because a lot of times when we're learning, we take on the attitude of the people that are around us, whether it's in a physical brick and mortar classroom like the one that I'm standing in right now, or whether we are in a virtual classroom, okay, i.e. Facebook, okay, whether it's Clubhouse, whether you're on a live stream, however you receive your information virtually, we tend to take on the attitude of the people that we are learning with. All right. We take on the attitude, we take on their attributes, all of that. So we've got to be careful that we're not taking on the negative attitudes and mentalities of the people that we're learning with. Okay. Because it will stunt your growth. It will block your ability to learn and take in that information. Now I'm going to get back to my finger wave illustration. Now, for the people that would learn finger waving, I took on all of that. I was very good at finger waving. I was actually very, very good at finger waving. The very first time, back when grading scales were a lot higher than what they are now, a 75 was a failing grade. Back in 1982 through 85. 75 was a failing grade, okay? And so I got a 75, failed my finger wave skill test, cried. I was like, I'm never going to be a cosmetologist. I'm never going to be a cosmetologist. Failed it. Had to go back. We took skill tests all the way through to my senior year. In my senior year, I earned a 100 perfect score on my finger wave skill test, because along the way, my instructor told me, you're doing this wrong. This is the way you hold your comb. This is where you hold your index finger. You got to roll off. You got to direct the hair into the ridge. You cannot drag that much hair over. You're going to make it look like a snake instead of a ridge that forms a wave, okay? All of these things. So I still kind of kept the negativity because everybody around me hated finger waving. Okay, that was the thing. If you talk to people that have been to cosmetology school, they'll all say the same thing about finger waving, right? I got out, became a manager, and for a salon chain and all of that. And I hired people who liked doing finger waving because I was trying to stay true to what I said. I'm not going to do any more finger waves. I'm not going to do any more finger waves. And I didn't. And so I liked getting them done on my head. I just didn't want to do them. So I went into teaching cosmetology. And she has passed on now, who used to be my cosmetology teacher, who became my mentor and got me into teaching cosmetology. And so when we went through a certain level of mentorship and training, she finally let me break off with 5 students and teach. She said, I'm going to let you teach them finger waving. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how to do it. Okay. And so I was sitting down there trying to figure it out because it had been some years since I had really sat down, and did a set of finger waves. And I had to figure out which way to start my C shaping. Which way do I direct my ridge? How do I keep from getting splits in my design? All of these things, right? But you know what? I was able to go back and literally hear the voice of my teacher when she was instructing me. Why? Because I had learned how to finger wave. It wasn't just something that I heard about. It wasn't just something that I saw other people doing. I had done a lot of finger waving. When you do something 50 times, you've learned how to do it. And I had to go back and kind of refresh myself and remind myself, but I was able to pull it off. Now I've been teaching finger waving now for about 28 years. I've been teaching finger waving. It's actually one of my favorite things to teach. And usually any of the students that don't have a negative attitude about it, they usually know how to finger wave. And not just a little bit either. They actually know how to do it because I take the time to actually show them, and I can look at them and I can tell. I said, you didn't do this. You didn't hold your comb. And they're like, yes, I am. I said, no, you didn't. And I usually have to take their hands and guide their hands to show them how to do it. And I have them do it over and over and over again because there's a muscle memory that has to happen. And it's the same thing with notary. Most of you are not giving yourself an opportunity to obtain notarial muscle memory because you won't put in the work. You won't read the books. You won't read the handbooks. You won't watch the videos. You just pick up the phone and call people, give me the answer, give me the answer, give me the answer. This is what you sound like. Give me the answer, give me the answer, give me the answer. I just want the answer. I just want the answer. I just want the answer. That's what you sound like. And after a while, you're going to give up because there's only so many people that you can call. There's only so many times that people are going to pick up the phone. There's going to be a point where the people that you're calling are going to say, we've discussed this before. We've talked about this. Have you read my book? Have you watched my video? Have you taken my training? Have you taken notes? Some of you have probably already heard these questions asked to you. Some of you have probably already heard that already. And people, they get upset, they get offended. Well, you're making me feel bad. You're making me feel you're making me feel bad about myself. It's not even about all of that. It's about you taking responsibility for your learning and ultimately for your own growth and your own longevity and your own success. If I can tell you how many things that I have learned since June of 2017, when I opened up this cosmetology school, I could probably write a book, seriously. And a lot of these things I did not know. And I have been a cosmetology instructor since 2004, okay, a licensed one. And so you've got to understand that there's things that you're just going to keep. If you have a thirst for learning and you want to stay really at the top of your field, or you're trying to get to the top of your industry, you're going to keep on growing. I still sit in classes, and a lot of my classes are asynchronous, where I have to sit down, click a video, stop a video, do the assignment that they're saying to do, take notes, and I'm sitting in the room by myself. And guess what? I'm fine with it because that's the only time that I have, or the only type of classes that I can take with the schedule that I have. So I make the most out of it. I make the most out of those classes, and I sit down and I take notes and all of that until I'm done with it. And I've earned that certificate of completion or that certification and or that license. Okay. And you've got to really don't just take training to brag about taking training. Because people do that. I took this training. Oh, I took that training. Oh, I took that. Oh, I took that class. I was in her class. I was in his class. Well, have you started doing what you were taught? No, I didn't do that. So you're just wasting money and time. That's what you're doing. You're wasting money and time. And your time, your talent, and your treasure you do not want to waste. You do not want to waste that. And I know for me, when it comes to me learning, it's like when I approach anything, I'm trying to get at least one thing that I did not know. There's got to be at least one, minimum one thing that I did not know before I sat in this training, watched this video, read this book, sat in this workshop, sat in this seminar, all of that. I learned from people. You know what? I like to learn from other people's mistakes and bad decisions. I know that may sound horrible to you, but that's what, guess what? It's more wise to learn that way. People say, oh, yes, there's going to be some things too that you're going to learn through your own trial and error. Okay. But I am a firm believer of attentively watching other people as they go through their journeys. Okay. And if they come out and say, this is what I did, you don't want to do that, because this is what happened to me. My antennas go up because I don't want to go down a path that I don't have to go down. That's how you can fast forward yourself. You can fast forward your path when you can learn from the tests, the trials, the tribulations, and the challenges of other people who have gone before you, the trailblazers, okay? The people that go before you in your particular industry. My husband shares a lot about the things that he goes through during his notary signings. And I'll just listen to, I'm not a notary, but I've learned, and I have people that, hey, I want to talk to your husband because I want to get into notary. And the first thing I tell them, before you call my husband, I said, here's his channel. I sent him the link. And I said, I want you to start with the Notary Basics playlist. Start there. I said, take the notes, start there. And if you still have questions after you have looked at his Notary Basic playlist, then here's his telephone number. Feel free to call. Why do I say that? Because I already know from experience why I've learned. I know what he's going to say. He can finish my sentences. I can finish his. We can represent one another. When people approach him about me in my business, and he'll say, well, my wife she going to tell you this is what she don't accept financial aid. It's $3,000 down. It's $500 a month. Da 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 da. Ba 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 ba. Can you handle that? Well, okay. That's it. It is what it is. Is this whole thing of, well, my husband's going to say something different? I'm going to tell you what. I'm being straight up with you. My husband says the same thing over and over and over again to me, to my son, and to anybody who will listen. Okay? If you think that you're going to call him and he's going to give you a tip, a trick, or a nugget, like he calls a TTN, a tip, a trick, or a nugget privately that he hasn't said to everybody publicly, he's not. He's not. Now he's going to he will repeat himself. He will repeat himself over and over and over again. He will. He is consistent. His message is consistent. His message is consistent. So if you're calling him, well, I'm just checking. I'm just checking. I'm just double checking. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to tell you the same thing 3 times. He's going to tell you the same thing. over and over. And he's laughing because me and him got this banter back and forth with one another. You told me that. Yeah, you told me that. And you know what? I do the same thing because I've been hanging around him because we take on the attitude and the attributes of the people that we are around.
I only say things one time.
Mm-mm.
One time. Y'all
No.
look, y'all know that's why I just do one video and I just leave it out there and I never say that subject in another video or those points in another video ever, ever, ever again.
But he says it. And sometimes I'll say to him, I say, you know what? I think you need to go back and hit that point again. When he starts getting, calls, when he starts getting calls about the same thing, I was like, you know what? It's been about 3 months. You're getting the influx of, new people that are coming in and watching. And I said, hey, people, they're going to come in, and they're going to watch, maybe the last video, the last 2, 3 videos that you looked at. But what you said about a particular topic is buried way back. And I said, everybody isn't like me. Like me, when I come to a new channel and I'm like, wow, that was some really good information. I'll go back, start at the back of their playlist, of their video playlist, and I move forward. Seriously, I start at the bottom of their playlist and then I move up to where they are more recently. Now that's just me. That's just me. If I'm going to subscribe to you, then I'm going to go backwards and move up to your more recent videos. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm all caught up. I know your message. I know where you are. There are some people that I listen to categorically. If I want to know about this, they are a subject matter expert or a SME in this particular area. I'm going to watch this person for that and that only. So know how to deal with the Rolodex of your own mind. Know how to, like, hey, if I, some people don't, they like, certain people. Like sometimes we look at Dr. Umar Johnson, right? When it comes to education, people don't like his persona. They say he's, this, that, and the third or whatever. Well, I'll tell you what, that man knows about education. Okay. He knows what he knows. Okay. You may not like his persona. And I always tell people, I said, if you're going to listen to him when he's talking in this arena, because then you can weed out all of the stuff that you don't like. And he's talking on a topic. You listen to people when they shine the brightest. See, a lot of times people, you don't even know how to get your information, but you learn how to look at videos. Stop just looking at videos just to be looking at them. Look at people when they're shining the brightest. It might just be one video that you look at of theirs that you can get all the information, and that's it. Okay? But there's some people you can look at all their videos. So it really does depend. We have got to stop doing that, just taking in information, because then you got information overload. And so there are some people that every time they post a video, I look at it because I know what they're about. I know that the information that I am going to get from them, it aligns with the way that I think. It aligns with the way that I receive information. It aligns with me spiritually. Okay. And so I am very meticulous about how I get my information and who I get my information from. So just stop being all over the place with how you get your information too. And because then you got to filter out all this junk that you got. And you're trying to figure out, why am I so afraid? Why am I so nervous? Why am I so negative? Because you didn't got information from all of these different people. And some of this information that you've gotten is negative, is wrong, is out of date. Oh, and be careful that you're not getting out of date information, especially when it comes to the law. and understand when something is the law, when something is a regulation, when something is a policy, and when something is a personal preference. There is a difference between all of that. Okay? There is a difference between a personal preference, a law, a regulation, or a policy. There is a difference because some people are walking, and stop with all of, well, it's common knowledge. Common knowledge isn't always correct because there's a lot of things that's being done in a lot of industries that is actually straight up illegal. But people are doing it because the next person is doing it. The last 5 notaries did it. That doesn't mean it's correct. That does not mean it is correct. Know your notarial laws. Know what you're supposed to be doing. If you're supposed to sign, stamp, or seal here, then that's what you do. If you're supposed to, note that you are in, Lexington, Kentucky at the time that you are doing the signing, then that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to put where the other person is if they're someplace else. Okay? Understand the notarial act that you, the notary, are supposed to be performing. People are trying to learn outside of the scope of what they've been commissioned to do. And that is a lot of people's problems. Well, I want to learn the documents. How come they not paying me this much? That's none of your business. That's really not any of your business. It really isn't. So if you got all of these thoughts going on when you're sitting down at a signing, well, how come the title company is getting paid this much? How come I got this is going on here? All of that is going on in your mind. No wonder you're forgetting to have the person to sign something that they were supposed to sign. Because you're worrying about, well, the title company getting paid $750, how come I'm only getting paid $100? Yeah, that is what is on the canvas of your mind instead of, I'm supposed to make sure that I get, could you please show me your ID, sir or ma'am, to make sure that you are Mr. and Mrs. Smith or whoever, whatever their name is. You forgot to ask them to get a copy of their license. Okay? You forgot that you are not supposed to be answering certain questions because if you are in an attorney state and you are not, i.e., an attorney, okay, that you're not supposed to be answering certain questions. And if you do, you are practicing law. Okay? But you can't, your mind is on all of these other things, and you're operating outside of the scope. And so the things that you have actually been paid to do, a lot of notaries are not doing. And so they're not stamping and signing in places where they're supposed to be stamping and signing. They're not getting the actual signers, the people who are, buying or selling the home or getting their home or their property refinanced. They're not getting them to sign, or they're having them sign in places that they're not supposed to sign. Okay? They're telling them information that they're not supposed to be telling them, and it actually changes the direction of the signing. Okay? And then this person is upset. I don't want to sign. I don't want to buy the house. I don't want to refinance. I want to talk to my loan agent. And then the whole deal is blown. All because of a notary not learning the right things and operating outside of the scope. The things that they've learned, from what I have been hearing, a lot of the things that notaries have been taught is they've been taught to operate outside of the scope of their license or their commission in their state. So check what you've been learning. Go back and check what you have learned. And don't be afraid to renew your mind in areas where you got taught wrong. Put your pride aside. If it's not working out for you, you got to figure out why. And then if you find out that you've learned the wrong thing or the wrong things, in a lot of people's cases, it's multiple things that they have been taught that is in error. And they have been walking around doing it for a long time. And I am sitting there when my husband is getting these phone calls from signing companies and from title companies. And he's telling them, he said, I cannot do this in the state where I am commissioned. I cannot do this because of blah, 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 blah. Now, my husband has been like this long before he became a notary. He was like this in the military. He was like this when he was in the Navy. He knew his Navy regulations. It got on everybody's nerves, but no one was able to take advantage of him. No one, not even the captains of those ships that he was on, that he wrote up when they would be trying to operate out of the scope of those Navy regulations. Right. And that's the thing. That's why, and so many people are just, I just got to get the money. I just got to get the money. And you operate like that instead of doing the things that you're supposed to do it. And I always say, if you got time to do it wrong, then you got time to do it over. So you've got to understand that I hate doing stuff twice, especially if it's something that's tedious and it took me a long time to do. I'm going to make sure. I had to turn in things to my principal, and he was a numbers guy. He was a data guy. He knew, policy, school board policy, so I knew how to present things to him. If he said he wanted it like this, I want it sent back to me via email. I didn't take it back to him and throw it in his mailbox in the front office. I filled out the form that he sent to me via email, filled out the information like he said in the email, turned it back saved it in the PDF form, and then sent it back to him in detail. In so much detail that I didn't have to worry about him saying, do it over again. Now, I'll have to admit, it got on my nerves at the time, but it taught me. Now that I am an owner of my own school and I am an administrator, I have to, and I don't have somebody telling me what to do all the time. Like when I worked for the school system, they told me when to come in, they told me when to leave, they told me what to do while I was at work. Guess what? I'm not on that 9 to 5 anymore. I am an entrepreneur who owns a school. I am an administrator. So I must know the law when it comes to running a cosmetology school, what I can and cannot do. And I must have my own muscle memory in which I must apply the things that I have learned. Now, I learned a lot working for the school system because it's almost like being in the military. You learn structure. You learn a lot of structure. You learn to be on time. You learn to be professional. You learn to dress in a professional manner. Okay? You learn how to speak in front of people. And I am a total introvert. That's why you don't see me on here a lot. Okay? I am a straight up introvert. I can be alone for days at a time by myself, and I am in heaven. Okay? But I always tell people I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. So I don't speak on things that I don't know. Okay? If somebody asks me a question and I don't know, and say, look, I don't have that answer for you right now, but here's a resource for you. Here's a resource for you that might be able to help. Or, you can read this, or here's a link to that.
Mm-hmm.
because now learning is, to me now, learning is so much easier than it used to be when we were all in grade school, elementary, junior high school. They used to call it junior high school when we were coming up. All this middle school stuff, they didn't call it that when we were coming up. But we had to, go to the library and, use the microfiche and the Encyclopedia Britannica, and all of that. We actually had to use the dictionary. Okay. And we had to actually understand how to put things in alphabetical order. All right. So that's the thing. You got to ask yourself a lot of questions. If you are in, if you are in a situation in the notary industry right now, or whatever industry you may be in, you might be in a totally different industry like I am. Okay. You're stuck. You're not having, you're having either no success or very limited success in the notary industry or whatever business you may be in, and you're not seeing growth. You may have to check yourself before you wreck yourself completely. Okay, you may have to go back and what am I learning? Who am I learning from? Okay, am I actually learning? Am I going through the actual learning process? Or am I just looking for quick answers to questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all of these things are very, very important. And like I said, for what I'm doing, for the type of cosmetology school that I'm running, I can't pick up the phone and call people, because I know that I'm running my school in a totally different way. My business model is different from the other cosmetology schools. I'm actually on the opposite end of the spectrum. So I can't call these other schools and say, like, hey, could you give me the answer to that? They're not going to do that. They're my competition. Okay. And so there's a lot of things that I am learning on my own. I'm putting them, I've got a whole binder of things that I've written down, things from classes that I have taken, workshops that I've gone to, updates. Some of them are painful. Some of them are painful workshops because they're ran by the state and they're not very, engaging, but they're necessary. And if you're the type of person that is always looking for stuff to be, fire and all that all the time,
Do the prep. Do the prep.
if you're looking for that all the time, if you're looking to be, entertained all the time, then you're not going to learn. Because there is a lot of things that I learned, and it was very, very boring. That's why I write a lot. Mm. That's why I write a lot, because that will keep me at least engaged. It will keep me engaged.
Hey, babe.
And so, yeah.
All right, let's let Lori get in here because I know she got a question. Go ahead on, Lori.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Loan signing agent from Indiana. I am so excited to be here. I can only imagine your dinner table conversations. I'm sure they're fire daily.
No, we don't talk much at the dinner table. We just real quiet. I don't say anything. I'm very quiet and subdued. I find
that very hard to believe, Griff, but all right, we'll go with that.
I know.
I'm on point and on board with everything you're both saying. A lot of this information is information I try to share with my peers, with my colleagues as well, because you're so right about everything. Transferable skills, implementing what you're learning, information overload. What are you waiting for? There's so many things that everything you're saying, I'm just nodding my head like, yes, I agree with everything. So I don't have much to add on top of what you're sharing other than I 100% agree with it. And I just appreciate the knowledge and the gems that you're dropping today, because it's not just information for the notary world. It's information that can be applicable to really any industry. If you're trying to grow, if you're trying to have some success, if you're trying to get to the next level, if you're even trying to get started, this information is something that can be shared with everyone if you're willing to apply it. And thanks so much, Griff, for putting up the flyer on the screen. I'm on the StreamYard side, and it is one of the reasons why I thought about putting together the 2022 Level Up Notary Signing Agent NSA Virtual Summit. So it's a virtual summit that's coming up Saturday, January 8th. It's going to begin at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We wanted to give our West Coast notary friends a chance to join in. Griff was one of the first speakers that I approached about it. It really came out of many conversations that we have about, just different things that go on in our industry and how we both are trying to make it a better industry for everyone. And I said, after we had several conversations, I said, I think I'm just going to pull all my notary friends together, and we are going to have the biggest pep rally kickoff in 2022 that I could possibly think of. And that's how I came up with the idea for this summit. So the tickets, I was a little overwhelmed and very surprised. So within the first 12 hours, we registered over 500 people. So the spots are filling up very fast, and I only have a few spots available. I believe that Griff has put the link in the chat. So if you want to join some of the country's most notable notaries and the signing agents, trainers, then you won't want to miss out on this event. You can go to Eventbrite to register. Once the tickets are sold out, that is it, my friends. It does include a replay, a 90-day replay. I want you to be there live, but I know things happen, and it is a little over a half day. So just in case you're not able to attend live for the entire event, you can go back and look at the 90-day. But here's the challenge that I have for everyone. I do not want you to sign up for the summit if you are not going to implement the information. I do not want you to take up a space, because once it sells out, the limitations that we have, there's only so much space we have for registration. If you are just wanting to take in more information and you're not going to act on it, do not join this party, because we are the doers. We are the go-getters. We are the ones that try to lift each other up in the notary world. And so we want you to be a part of it, but only if you're ready to take action. Just to give you guys a quick list of just some of the notaries that'll be on there. I mentioned Griff before, but we also have Laura Beer. She is one of the most renowned general notary work, or like she likes to say, specialty notary work trainers in the country. And she does go state by state. So she is one of those trainers that will get your state handbook out and go over the state guidelines for your specific area. She's going to be our keynote. We also have Bill Soroka, who is the author of Sign and Thrive. I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with him, but we'll have Amy Seitz on there from Cyberize It, Sue Hope from Notary Assist, Clyde Hepner from the Integrity Journal, Ty the Abnormal Notary. I'm sure a lot of you follow her here on YouTube.
Instagram.
Instagram too.
Mhm.
Nakia, my good buddy Nakia Alexander from NA Signings, and also Notary Cousins. She'll be a part of it. Kendra Lewis. This is why I don't like to start naming names, because I don't want to forget anyone. But Kendra Lewis from Signing Agent Basics. Calvin Darville from Comfort Closings. Who else do we have? We have Matt Miller, who's a California notary and a co-author of an apostille, the Apostille Guide. We also have Judy Lawrence she's also apostille and notary signing agent and co-author of an apostille guide. And I don't want to miss anyone, so I'm probably going to have to stop there. Star McQueen from the Supermom Notaries from Clubhouse and Facebook. She will be on board, and many, many more. So anybody that has an interest and Sunita Leak, I'm sorry, she's a notary and a wedding officiant. Don't want to leave her out. Anyone that's interested in becoming a better notary, becoming a notary, becoming a loan signing agent or a notary signing agent, learning more about apostille, learning more about building inspections or house inspections, wedding efficient, record keeping, getting organized. This is the summit for you. Again, it is called the 2022 Level Up Notary Signing Agent Virtual Summit. It's coming up on Saturday, January 8th, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tickets are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. So we are taking away all of your excuses to level up your notary business. That is what this event is going to be about. But please don't sign up if you're not ready to put all of this information, if you're ready to act on it, implement it, because we are over the information overload. Griff doesn't want you to watch his videos over and over. If you're going to call him up and ask a question that's already answered in this video, we've already done that in 2021. So 2022 is going to be about implementation, accountability, and leveling up our notary business. That's what we're all about with my business, Sign Here and There Notary Services. And that is who I'm surrounding myself with. Those are the people that I talk to. Those are the people that I pour into. Those are the people that pour into me, are all the people, it's not like we're not realistic, but we're not about negativity. We're not about just constantly taking it all in and not doing anything about it. My circle, I just named off pretty much everybody on that flyer. That's my circle. And that could be a part of your circle too. It's your choice. So I agree with everything that Mrs. Griffin said. I agree with everything that Griff said. Your choice is totally up to you. You have access to the information. I made this summit very affordable. The tickets are less than $25. Where are you going to go and hear this type of caliber of speakers, this many speakers at one place for that price? You're not. And I would have made the entire conference free. Let me just say that. But I know sometimes people don't value free. They don't put a lot of onus on free. And so that's why I did give quite a few of them as complimentary. But after that, you're going to have to invest a little bit, and you're going to get out of your notary business exactly what you put into it. So I hope to see everyone. On Saturday, January 8th at the summit. Now this is going to be fire. So it is going to be fire. So we're going to have a little music. We're going to have a little music. We're going to have a little fun, but it's going to be drop and get your notebooks ready, because they're going to drop gems and fire all day long. And then after that, all we want to hear is success stories. We want to hear people promoting exactly what you got out of it. So there'll be giveaways, prizes, all that good stuff. Thanks so much, Griff, for having me on, Mrs. Griffin. I appreciate it. And just keep on dropping that knowledge, because obviously we all need it, or you guys wouldn't keep coming back and bringing it to us.
No problem. No problem. As y'all see on the screen, type in #masterclass, because I have a giveaway that I'm going to be doing for y'all. Type in hashtag, not the word hashtag, but what you see. Okay.
You got to be specific.
Type in the hashtag symbol and the word masterclass right behind each other for this giveaway. Now, a couple of things I want to throw out here. And as I was thinking about, go on, babe.
Hold on. I don't have a fritter. Good. But I have, let me turn it right up.
Oh, yeah.
My Nature's Bakery. This is my strawberry oatmeal crumble. And this is my blueberry fig bar. These are vegan.
Nice.
These are vegan. And this is my organic smoothie. Very good. So that's what I'm eating on Fritter Friday. Oh,
I have
sounds
water. I have water. That's it. Hey, Griff, I'm going to throw something in there as well. So I am going to throw in a free registration to our upcoming Notary Summit. So you pick the winner and you just get the information to me, and I will put someone down for free registration.
Okay, so we're gonna do 2 giveaways today. Q, my man Q, I am Q. Type in masterclass again. You hit masterclass with a D at the end. I don't want you to miss out. All right, I don't want you to miss out. So, all right, so the first one is gonna be for the masterclass, and let me show y'all this. What I'm talking about here. I got all these windows up, and I gotta find. Ah, here it is. All right. So, and let me add Amy in here from Cyberrise. So,
Hey, Amy.
Hello. I can't stay long, but I figured
okay.
I'd come in and say hi.
So real quick, y'all. Let me get this banner down. So Masterclass is a pretty good website. They have a lot of different sessions and everything on there from some of everybody about everything. And I had signed up because I like critical thinking. And Cornell West has a course on here about critical thinking. But you get access to all of the different things, Issa Rae, Chris Voss, I mean, all kinds of stuff like this one talking about writing and understanding how to write and things of that nature.
Ooh,
So
Judy Blume.
I have when I paid for it, it gave me a 2-for-1. So I have a free membership, getting everything. And I know y'all say, well, why don't you give it to your wife? Well, she's married to me. She can go and use my account to go look at the stuff anytime she wants. Okay. So all right. So I know somebody sitting there right now talking about to hit me in the chat. He ain't give it to his wife. That's what's wrong with him. No. I already know she got my passwords and stuff anyway. So and all of that. But so everybody type in the word masterclass, #masterclass, the hashtag symbol, masterclass all together, not spaced out. And I'm going to do my giveaway wheel, and somebody's going to win that. Now, let me find my giveaway wheel. So while I'm doing that, go for it, Amy.
Oh, I just wanted to stop in and say hi. I saw you on here and figured, I'd give it some festivities here. This is how I'm doing all my runs today.
Okay, cool. All right,
welcome, Amy.
Hello.
I like your crown.
Thank you.
All right, so what we got going on here now? So I guess nobody don't want to win nothing because all we got is 11 now. Now, y'all sure y'all want? I mean, how many people? We got 24 people up in here. See, this is where the people should have stayed and everything. Let me go back, collect. All right, so now I'm about to hit the button. Whoever comes up, they're going to win the masterclass membership, and it's good. It's good till the end of November of 2022. Now, maybe one of the fellas will win because every time the ladies been winning it all. And whoever Chan is, you won. So let me write that down so I don't forget.
Congratulations, Chan.
Congratulations.
Chan, if you out there, hop on. Let me throw the link in there.
You're welcome, Chan.
You hop on and everything. So we got someone named Chan. All right.
Wow.
So hit me up to find my contact info. It's go for notary help at griffinnotary.com or click the about link on my YouTube channel, and it has my contact info in there. All right, so the next all right, hold on. All right, so the next one is going to be hashtag 2022. So Type in hashtag 2022 in the comment section. And I'm gonna give y'all a few moments to do that. So while y'all doing that, so it can start tallying it up, and then I'm gonna hit the button, and that's who's gonna win Lori's virtual ticket to the virtual summit. Now, here's a couple of things real quick that I also wanted to share with y'all. To me, it's very, very apparent that for some folk, you at this point in your juncture in this notary business, you got to ask yourself, are you pursuing your dream or somebody else's dream? Because as my wife said earlier, you take on the attitude and the persona of the person who's training you. But sometimes, and I'm just going to be real with y'all, sometimes people can be real slick and can use reverse psychology and have you doing stuff that's really promoting what they want and what they're trying to do. And you never get to a point of doing what you are destined to do because you're so concerned about doing stuff and pushing stuff toward them.
Right.
You're pushing, you have your contacts and your people, and it's like, well, send your people to me. And you're sending everybody to them. And again, think about it. If you took time out to just learn the notary business, it's not about trying to get paid, but you can help and educate the people who you are connected to.
Right.
To me, the most embarrassing thing is this. I might be cool with Lori. Lori's training and everything, and I'm cool with her, and she teaches in the manner what I'm down with, and me and her jive together. But then I tell Amy, hey, Amy, you need to go to Lori. Well, Amy's personality and Lori's personality don't jive. And Amy's like, Griff, come on now. Who is this Lori chick? You got me trying to learn notary stuff too. You see what I'm saying? And it can cause a rift. So you can't send everybody to who you go to.
Nope.
You cannot do that. You have to sometimes just get in there and be able to help people out. And that's why, look, Bill Soroka is cool. But for somebody who's looking to be spoon-fed, Bill ain't the one to send you to. I can't send you to Bill because Bill ain't gonna spoon feed you, because me and him are very much alike in some of the stuff, when it comes to getting going and doing your thing. We'll help you, but we're not gonna spoon feed you. So for me to know somebody, I got a friend that's a spoon feeder, they need to be spoon fed everything, I can't send them. But however, if I learn the material, I can educate them, I can help them. The question is, with this notary business and what you're doing with any business, are you pursuing your dream or are you pursuing their dream? Are you doing stuff that's really helping you in your dream?
Right.
Because I've said it over and over when I do the mentor videos, the mentor is supposed to help you get to where you say you want to be. You go to a mentor, you don't know what you want. You don't know where you're trying to go. Like the song said, one of my favorites on Diane Ross, do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? You see what I'm saying? So
Mahogany.
Mahogany. That's one of that. I love that song.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
So you're trying to move forward and you're going to a mentor, and I'm going to Amy and saying, hey, Amy, mentor me. And Amy's like, okay, where you trying to go with this business? I don't know. So Amy's like, well, you paying me $400, so I got to do something. So Amy's like, okay, I know. Just do what I do. That's what a lot of these mentors out here are doing. And that's why I call them fake mentors. And if you listen to the channel, sorry, but you are fake. It's that simple. Because you have no ability or desire to help the individual who's coming to you to move in a direction that's beneficial to them. And that's what mentors are supposed to do. That's what leaders are supposed to do. That's what a mom and a dad's supposed to do. That's what pastors supposed to do. So you're sitting here and you go to your spiritual guide and he says, well, just do what I do. Okay, but I'm not in a position to do what you do. You can't even tell your son and daughter to just do what mom and dad do because they're not in a position to do that. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to a mentor, you're paying them money. They're like, okay, well, you know what? I don't want to lose this money. So just do what I do and you'll be successful. And it may work to a particular point. And that's why I always say, you got to know who you are. If you don't understand who you are as a person, and they're telling you to do things, and you're like, no, that's not me. And it's not that the stuff doesn't work, but for your mindset and your personality, it can take you down a path that's not who you really are, that's true to your personality. And then if you're married, have that special someone in your life, and then they start seeing a change in you, and they're like, okay, the kid's like, well, mom, that ain't you. Honey, that ain't you. Baby, that's why are you acting like this? Why are you worrying about buying this? Why are you worrying about, when you're dealing with a mentor or somebody that's all they talking about is what they got, what they're going to get, and what they think they should get, that's not the person who you need to be around. And there are a lot of people out there that's all they do when they try to call themselves training. I'm talking about what I got, what I'm about to get, and what I think I should get. And it's all material stuff. And the problem is everybody thinks that they know the game is this. If I hit you in the material realm, you'll follow and do what I say. So you'll have people say, well, don't you want to make money? I mean, I thought you wanted to make money. So go. Yes, I want to make money. But in order to make money, you got to learn the business. Just like you can't go to a W-2 and not learn a W-2. So how do you think you can come into the notary business as an entrepreneur and you don't learn the business? You got to learn the business so you can move forward in it, because at some point in time, you got to break away. You got to break away. There's nothing wrong with starting with people, but you do sometimes may have to break away and move into a realm that is more beneficial for you that they may not even want to mess with. Okay, because I'm about to move into something with the with notary training that I know most notary people, trainers or so-called trainers, don't even want to touch. I'm telling you, when I reveal this next year, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, that's different. And it's not that they couldn't do it, but you got to have a desire to do it and a willingness to do it. And also you got to like people. Some of them people out there, they like your money more than they like you. They like your money more than they like you. And they tolerate you as long as you putting money in their pocket. But the moment you start paying them, not talking about Amy with Cyberrise and all of that. Nope, Amy's cool. Amy loves you no matter
Amy
what.
loves people. Amy loves everyone.
Loves people no matter what.
I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm like, okay, I'm listening, but I'm like doing two different things in the back end. So
as usual.
Yeah. So you got to keep in mind that, do that person really like me? Like the old when Sally Struthers won the Oscar, they like me. They really like me, Or the show Hey Arnold, the little football head kid, and him and that girl was talking about their life. Do you like me or do you like me? Well, I like you, but I don't like you. I just like you. You know what I'm saying? So do they like you because do they like you, period? And do they really want to see you grow and succeed? And people can say that verbally, but if you ever got into a point to where you couldn't pay that person, are they still going to be there for you? See, that's why I resonate so much with Eric Thomas, because if you listen to his story, he does a lot. And this is his thing, coaching with et.com. If you ever want to really get down and dirty with some real good mentorship, because for what I'm trying to do in 2022, I got to go to another level. And what I want to do, there's some great notary people, but for what I want to try to do, I got to connect with him. So I went and got this here. I joined his 2022 mentorship program, and y'all need to take a look at it for yourself. It's a great deal. It's about $500 for the year. What the heck? Oops, my bad. So
that's how he does when he trying to tell me to read something. He scrolls that fast.
Well, I got that. Leave me alone. Teasing me. But that's what you need to take a look at it. coachingwithet.com/2022 and everything. So I'm telling y'all, you got to make sure that people care about you. You got to test them out. And if you don't, because that's really what it boils down to. do I care enough about to me, anybody who's trying to train? And yes, there's a balance between getting money and not being taken advantage of and everything. And people can lie and say, well, I ain't got the money, so help me out. Okay, well, I'm gonna try to help you out, but I'm got my antennas up and I'm like, okay, I see you just full of it, you know, so then I gotta cut you loose and everything, you know. I mean, just like I get calls all the time, people asking me, I put a video out and people are asking me a question, and I'm like, I said that in the video. And then I go to the video and I look at it and say, maybe I didn't. I'm like, oh, nope, here it is. And then I tell them, and I know, and some people get mad at me. They're like, well, why don't you just give me the answer? I'm like, okay, but if you look at the video, and I'm trying to do some shorter videos now to help people out. And I do a 15-minute video, and yes, 15 minutes is short for me, maybe not for you. If I do a 15-minute video and I talk about a topic and I cover and then you're like, and then you ask me a question. I'm like, did you even listen? So I'm finding out people are fast forwarding through the videos. You know, they putting it on 2x and 3x. And I say, well, why are they doing it? Because they're looking for certain cues to say, oh, here's an answer. Bam. Okay. Boom. I grabbed it. And then they run off and then they're trying to execute an answer, but they don't have the knowledge that is associated with the answer. You're going to fail every single time. And so you got to know who you are. You got to believe in yourself. You got to be willing to stand firm on that in the midst of other people telling you, no, do it this way. No, go pay money for that. No, take this shortcut. But if you know you are the type of person that wants to build the foundation of what you're doing, brick by brick, beam by beam, then you cannot be around those who are quick fixers. You cannot be around those who just whitewash stuff, who just slap some mortar on, who just spread out the drywall, but behind it, there's holes and patches, and they don't patch the hole up, but they just put enough thick drywall on there so you can, so you don't see anything. And here's Chan. So I'm going to, real quick, before we hit Chan, I'm gonna go ahead on and spin the wheel and see who wins. Oh, 14. They really want to come to that conference now. All right, so we're gonna go with it. Come on, one of the fellas win. Brenda. All the ladies be tearing it up in here. So Brenda M, you get with Lori. And Lori, she can type her contact info in the chat, and then you hit her up. And she will take care of you. Everything. So what you got, Chan?
Uh-oh, how do you do this?
Doing great.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello. This is our first time ever doing this. Hi, how are you all?
We're doing wonderful.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was tried at the end. I was like, well, at least let me try.
And you
wasn't expecting.
So you're gonna love it. So just hit me up. You got my contact info?
I don't. Do I go to the your website?
Well, just my email is notaryhelp at griffinnotary.com. I thought I had a little banner thing there for that. Notaryhelp at griffinnotary.com.
Okay.
And my Google Voice number is 757-797-5432.
$5432. Okay, can you repeat this? You said 757?
797.
Oh, 797.
5432.
5432. Okay.
I wanted my Google Voice number to be 777-9311. Back in the day, I think that was Morris Day, right? That was Morris Day.
Morris Day at the time, yes.
Or either 867-5309. One of them two and stuff. But thank you. So tell us about the notary, how you've been coming along with the notary, where you're at with everything. All right.
I definitely have a lot of work to do. I just got certified, certified notary. I think it was like back in October. I haven't really been doing much with it. trying to feel my way through to like what's the next step to do. And so yeah, I was just telling myself last night, like I gotta get it started. You know, find out what's the next step. And so I just happened to, I have watched your videos several times, but I just happened to come back on here today to find you all was actually live. So yeah, I'm trying to feel my way through.
All right, well, you got
what's the
my.
next step?
Well, one of the things I tell everybody to do is go to the Notary Basic playlist on the channel. In the description of this video is a link to a video on how to find the playlist, because I'm finding that people don't understand how to use YouTube and they can't find the playlist. Because I tell them, I say, go to the playlist, and then, you know, they just sort of just fizzle out. You know, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I have a video in there that shows people how to find the playlist and everything and all of that. So when you look in the description, it's a short video that I'm doing on my phone, because most people are on their phone. So I'm showing you how to do it on the phone, how to find the playlist section on my channel and everything. But now, one of the things I also wanted to show y'all, now one of the playlists that I have is called Make Your Move. And one of the best videos I have in it, I can't play it because it's monetized and I'm monetizing this thing. So they'll be giving me all kind of strikes, but I'm going to show you the video. I'm going to show you I'm going to just show you the picture so you know what to look for. If you're talking about, and everything, this here video coincides with what my wife was saying, it's about respecting your craft. Okay. The problem is that a lot of notaries do not respect the craft of being a notary. A lot of business owners do not respect their craft of whatever that business industry is. When you have no respect for the industry that you're in, you will do all kinds of things to get ahead. So my question is, with some of these so-called trainers and mentors out there, do you really respect the craft? And I will even throw this out here. And there's a lot of, and I think me and Lori talked about it. I know me and my wife talked about it. There are a lot more people trying to become signing companies. And it's a whole slew of that now, of people trying to become a signing company. And the question is, do you respect the craft enough to run your signing company business in the correct manner so as not to take advantage of the notaries? Because see, and again, and I talked about this, y'all. Lori knows I talked about this oversaturation. And I've said several months ago, the reason why people feel it's oversaturated is because you probably got about 15% of notaries a month trying to either start a training company or a signing company. And if you're trying to start a training company or a signing company, you need notaries to train, and you need notaries to sign up for your signing company. The problem is people aren't being trained properly. So the signing companies are clearly saying, and I did an interview with Vanessa Terry, and even when I did the interview with Pierre, Gary Pierre Lewis, his book about signing services, they all said this: when I started, I had this many, and now I'm down to this many preferred, because so many people are doing creepy things out there. There are people out there that are teaching notaries how to backdoor the title company. I mean, the signing company, to go directly to the title company. Some people do it inadvertently because they didn't realize, it was just something shared. Me and the lady was talking about that last night. But then there's others who are categorically trying to backdoor the signing company to take their client. And I'm sitting here like, okay, so now what's happening is these people who used to be notaries and probably was doing those same things are now signing companies, and they're like, well, I don't want to get those kind of notaries, because I know me and her took the same training that taught us how to be snakes in the grass, and now I got a signing company. I don't need the snake in the grass doing closings for me, because they're going to do what? Be a snake in the grass. Just like the old story that said there was an Indian who climbed to the top of the mountain, and it was cold, and the Indian was up there, and there was a snake up there, and the Indian was freezing, and the snake said, look, man, look, we need each other's body warmth to stay alive, because if we don't do this, we're going to die. The Indian was like, all right, cool. He does it. He goes back down to the bottom of the mountain, And in his mind, he's like, "No, the snake gonna bite." But the snake's like, "Man, I ain't got no need to bite you because I need you. I need you in order to survive. So why would I do that?" So he said, "All right, cool." He gets to the bottom of the mountain where it's nice and warm, takes the snake, puts him on the ground, and before he moves his hand, the snake bites him. And the Indian said, "Wait a minute, why you bit me?" He said, "Man, you knew what I was before you picked me up. You knew what I was." And that was one of the things that DMX said. And there's a video out there. DMX said that he said, "Trust a person to be who they say they are. Trust a thief to be a thief. Trust a liar to be a liar. It's harder to try to trust somebody to be something you want them to be. Just trust them to be who they are." And that's the thing here. So when you move into another level, and in this case, as a signing company, you start realizing that, okay, scan backs are important. But before you were saying, "I ain't doing no scan backs." Before you were saying, "I've got to get $200, $300 a signing." Now you're a signing company and you realize, I can't pay a notary $300 a sign. You see what I'm saying? So all of a sudden things change, and these signing companies and these trainers all of a sudden realize, I need new notaries. I need people. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially from a training perspective. However, the question is, are you going to train people correctly? Because the trainer should be training people correctly so that when they get with the signing company, whether new or an established one, they perform the duties of a notary correctly. And that is not happening in our industry. Everybody is focused on the aesthetics of being a notary, of how you can look as a notary, how well you understand the documents of that you didn't even put together. And you got notaries who don't understand how to notarize. That's why I did the video a couple of days ago about the venue. Okay, you got notaries who still don't understand that you're supposed to change the venue. You got to put the venue, and then the question is, do you understand what venue means? Venue is a fancy word for the place where your butt is at. Where are you currently at? Okay, where I know it's supposed to be feet. Where your feet, which your feet are attached with your butt. So where your butt is at, that's where the venue is. So if you
I can't wait for your training to come out, Griff.
Well, you gotta say it like that. Where you at? Where you at?
I can't wait.
Where you at now?
So that's the thing. You got to realize that, okay, I need to do this thing right. And here's the thing. To train people, it takes some heart and it takes some effort. It takes you as a person who's saying, I'm gonna be a trainer, to actually look and hear what's going on with people, what they feel that they're missing, and then meet that need. And it may take you some time to research and find out and get the correct answers. And then you got to look at all the different variables, i.e., another example here. Y'all know a while back I did the video about attaching certificates. Somebody was saying, "Oh, we can attach a certificate, we can staple them to the paper." I said, "No, we don't," because I had never heard that. Everybody kept saying, "No, the NNA said we can." Okay, but guess what? Nobody ever called and double checked with the NNA. I called the NNA, come to find out the NNA told me this. "Oh, well, we do that. We say that because based off of California law, and we're in California, California says we're supposed to staple it." And they told me straight up, but in Virginia, you're not required to. So no, you don't have to staple all-purpose acknowledgement or jurat to a document because Virginia doesn't require that. How easy was that to go and rectify by just asking? But see, here's the thing. We're taking too much people at their word. And I tell people, don't even take me at my word, challenge me. And I try to provide receipts. But because these people seem to be more knowledgeable, this, that, and the other, you got to ask, okay, are they telling me this because it was just convenient for them at that time? Just like y'all hearing people saying, well, back in the day, I was getting $200 a signing. Well, we're not back in the day. We're here now. Okay. And it's odd because people want to be progressive in so many other areas of life, but you want to live in the past for the notary because you probably think, oh, well, getting $200 from back in the day is more beneficial than that. Okay, but how often were they getting that $200? How many signings were they getting a month? If I'm doing 60 signings a month, think of all those signings that I don't get in order to get 60. There has to be 3 times as many $60 signings that come across my path in order for me to get the 60. But nobody thinks of it that way. What you got there, Chan?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to soak in at one time. And another thing is I'm trying to figure out, because actually I work for the VA hospital. I also a licensed broker, and so I'm in North Carolina, and so I want to do good in all areas, and maintain my respect and honor while I'm going through this process of learning everything. And I want to see how can I coordinate everything to help others, to help other people with my notary business. As for like, what area do I need to focus in on with it?
Well, you're gonna figure it out. You will figure it out, and I will do everything I can to help you figure it out. Okay, so check out the videos, and they will help you. And as I always tell people, look at the videos, and then whatever questions you have that didn't get answered or that came up afterwards, hit me up so we can figure it out.
Okay.
That's how I operate and everything. I also wanted to show, because this here to y'all, my massage therapist. I told her I was gonna pump her up. I meant to do it a little bit earlier. If you're in the Hampton Roads area and you need a massage therapist, because she's been helping me out with my shoulder. It's an old injury that done started flaring back up. And before the day, I was having a hard time lifting it up, and now I'm back loose again. She's excellent. I've been knowing her for probably 15 years. And I also have a little thing of tinnitus, ringing in the ear. She's one of the few therapists in the area that does the therapy massage for that, to reduce the ringing in your ear. So that's when I started going to her, and then I started going to her after my chiropractor said I need to get that muscle worked on. And she does the cupping, you name it, she does all that stuff. The cupping, like y'all saw with the Karate Kid and all of that stuff. She don't put the fire in the thing, but she does the cupping and all of that. And it does help get the blood flow in your arm. So if you're interested in the Hampton Roads area, I just recently bought my wife a gift certificate for her to use and everything. The massage therapy, she is excellent. That hour that I'm there doesn't even feel like an hour. I mean, it feels like 15 minutes. And every time I go in there, I'm knocked out. I'm sleep, everything. The first time she worked me so good, I felt embarrassed because I was up there drooling and everything. I was drooling, and she knows how to get your body to release certain gases and getting everything. Yeah. So she was like, no, I felt embarrassed. She's like, she's like, that means I'm doing it right. So she got in there and put them elbows on me, and next thing I know, I was like, oh, I feel lighter now. Okay, cool. It's
Bootsville.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like for North Carolina, I do know like there's a guy named Marcus down there. He was telling me that in North Carolina, that y'all are only allowed to just mention the title of the document, and y'all can't say anything beyond that.
Yes.
And see here, and again, going back to training, so many notary trainers out there are saying, give a summary of the document and trying to teach you to learn the doc. And I'm not against that. And I know a lot of people think I am, but here's the thing. If in your space of North Carolina, they don't want you to go beyond the title of the document, you just say the title and that's it, and you're not allowed to go any further than that, why do I need to learn anything about the document?
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? How does me understanding the loan application or any of the other documents, when I am legally not allowed in my state to do what you're training me to do? That's the key. You can train a person in anything you want, but what I execute in accordance with my state law is the key. So if what I execute, you're training me something, and then you don't tell me that I can't do it in my state, and then I do it and get in trouble, well, I want to have a talk with you. But what are you going to say? Oh, well, you're grown. You should have figured that out on your own. That's what the trainers are doing. And to me, that's disingenuous.
It is.
Because if you're going to take on a responsibility of educating people nationwide, and you want people to come to you and spend money with you nationwide, then to me, it's up to you. You should know or have an idea or some kind of connection with the laws in these various different states to know what a notary can do based off of what you're training. So
That's
if you're
true.
training them, just like with my wife, she, like I think she said, I think New York has 1,000 hours in order to get a cosmetology license. But when somebody from New York comes down here, they got to take another 500 hours
Oh, wow.
in order to get that license in Virginia.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if so that means if somebody is saying, well, I'm gonna train you on how to be a cosmetologist, but you in New York, so you can be a cosmetologist in Virginia, you should know, New York educator, that in Virginia they need 500 more hours
Yes.
than what you have required to give them. And that's
true.
important. That's the responsibility of what you're doing as this notary trainer. But if you're looking for, and I'll be honest, some of the trainers out there, or some of the big trainers or other trainers or people are telling people, hey, here's another way you can bring income into your household by doing what? Starting a signing company or starting a training company. So you're not making the $300 a pop per signing. Okay, but you can still make $300 a day by doing your notary work and running a training business. And then total between the two, now you're at $300 a day. Now you're at $100,000 a year. Oh, okay. So I'm really not making $100,000 as a notary, which is what you marketed and advertise. But I get into it, and then it's like, well, you really can't. So here's some other little side things you can do in order to make money. And it's like, okay, well, I don't really want to train people. That ain't me. Well, you can start a signing company. Well, I don't really want to manage people. That ain't me. I want the $300 a day. But then you have a lifestyle that doesn't allow you to do $300 worth of orders at $85 a pop.
Okay.
You have your life, you can only do 2 signings a day, which means you want 150 a pop. But the problem is 150 ain't in your area consistently.
Okay.
So now what do you, now you got a decision to make. I need $300 a day. 300 is out there, but I got little man and TT to take care of. I got my husband, I got my wife, I got all these things, and I don't have the bandwidth to do. That would be, you have to do at least 4 $85 signings. So I'll have to do 4 $85 signings a day. I don't have the bandwidth to do that. So how I'm gonna make this money? Now you stuck. You see what I'm saying? So now you like, I need $300, but I can't do what I need to do to make the $300. So now the question is, are you going to adjust your lifestyle? Are you going to talk to your family and see what you can do in order to make that happen? Or at least say, okay, well, I can't do it every day, but I got 7 days a week. I'm gonna do it 3 out of the 7. So 3 out of the 7 days, I'm gonna do my 4 $85 signings, because the 4 $85 signings are here. They are available to me. So that's what I'm gonna do. But that's $340. So that means I can do $340 in this day. The other days I might just do the 170 because I can only do 2, but at least I'm moving toward that.
Yeah, that does.
You see what I'm saying? This is where the business mindset comes in. This is where you got to get calculated. See, this is beyond the notary trainer, because the notary trainer just worried about, I'm just regurgitating the information to you. Now you got to go figure it out. Now, when you go figure it out, my issue is there's too many people out there criticizing folk for figuring it out. You figured that, hey, I can pop 4 $85 signings. I can do 340 3 times a week. And that's what, over 900. That's over $1,000. So that means I can pull on them 3 days $1,000 plus whatever else I do, which means I could probably pull in about maybe $1,600 in a week. Man, okay, I can do that, because if the bottom line and the goal is to bring in $1,600 a week, at some point in time, you got to get out of how do I go about doing it and just be the fact, I got it. I got 1,600. I'm good. Well, you could have did it with just a few signings if you would have marketed yourself to get 300. Okay, well, I'm in a state that I can't market myself, or I'm coming into the notary game at a point where the signing company, the title companies, they're not looking for any more notaries. They're full. They're full. You know what I'm saying? The title companies are like, hey, look, we can only give you this. And Notary Stars last night talked about that. And when he puts it out on his YouTube channel, on how these signing company lists work, he straight up said it. A lot of the title companies, they're limited. A title company probably only has maybe 4 to 5 solid clients, and they might be doing 200 signings a month. Whereas a signing company, his signing company, Unlimited Ink, is pulling in 3,000 signings a month. So now you're saying, well, I ain't messing with no signing company because they take too much of my money. Okay, if you can do, in my case, 60 of those 3,000 and average $100 a pop, that takes care of my family for the month.
That's true.
First is being with 1 or 2 signing companies that they do 200 signings, so that's 400 that they do. But out of the 400, I can only get 15 because
are you already doing signings?
No, I'm not. No, I haven't
Yeah, I knew
started
she
yet.
wasn't. Yeah, but I'm just saying this so you can have an idea.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So it's like, okay, well, I can get some from them and I can get some from them. It's nothing wrong with having a little bit from both, but you have to be careful of throwing all your eggs in one basket. So I like working with signing companies because I don't have to go in somebody's office. But there are some direct clients that I have, and they don't have me going into their office. So if I can work with somebody direct and don't have to go in their office, I'm cool. If I do have to go in their office, which I have done, then I'm like, okay, I'll go in here, get it done, and get on out. But I'm not trying to be a flower pot in their office. And that's where the thing is. Some people who are saying I want to be a W-2, a business owner, they still desire and yearn for that W-2 environment of the office because that's where they shine at. You got some office king and queens in the W-2 world. They was popping. They was it. They come in and everybody like, hey, what's going on? Everybody love them. And they are just shining in the office and they know how to chuck up everybody in the office. It takes a real strong person to remove yourself from the office environment and to run your business without the engagement of these other W-2 people. Because once you become an entrepreneur, you are now a business owner and you are no longer and part of your mindset is no longer within the realm of the W-2. So you sitting in the office as a business owner dealing with a bunch of W-2 people, you're seeing things differently. They look at you differently, even though they might laugh and joke with you, but they look at you differently. They're like, yeah, you ain't, but you can just walk out anytime you want. You do 5 or 6 signings in 2 days and you make more than what I made the whole week. W-2s get jealous real quick. They get jealous real quick. So you have to be mindful of those things and then just say, okay, where do I need to go at with my business? And for some people, you can manage being in an office environment. You're getting paid the money you need to get paid. Go for it. My thing is, don't put down another person's ability to make money because it's not like yours. Just because it's not like yours, just because they're not sitting in the office like you. Okay, fine. You can't use like, well, I don't want to do all the printing. There's nothing wrong with that. For some people, the reason why they want to be in the office and they don't want to do all the printing and writing around, one, because they can't afford a printer, they don't have a printer and they can't afford one. And two, the car that they have really only got 3 wheels. They barely making it with that car and they really can't. You got to think beyond. Come on, we see some of them people in them junker cars we see out there. They notaries struggling. I've seen them, but they trying. And they can only go. Look, my car's only good for 15 miles a day. And then I got to put some more oil in it. I got to put the water in it for the radiator and all of that and stuff like that. One lady told me her husband, like, nah, I don't want you driving my vehicle because I don't want miles put on it. So she can't even do the notary business because he didn't want her really driving the vehicle. And then the other vehicle that they had, the vehicle that he didn't want her to drive was more fuel efficient. the one that she was driving was a big SUV and was a gas guzzler. So she didn't want to drive that a lot because of the gas. He didn't want her to drive his car because of the miles. He wanted to keep it low miles. So now you don't hop in this business and you can't even do it because you got these restrictions. He got those restrictions. The kids got restrictions like, I can't have you out the house, mommy, because I need you to just be here. Well, when I'm in the house, you ain't even talking to me. I know. I just want you in the house with me while I start playing on TikTok.
Ma'am, are you ready to start doing signings?
Yes, I am. I don't mind the traveling at all because I'm used to the traveling. And so because I'm constantly doing it as a showing assistant with a real estate company. And so we're constantly on the go, on the move. And so yeah, I'm not afraid to get out there and take those mileages of
So you already NNA certified?
No, that's the next thing. I haven't got into a program, so I was trying to find out I got to take the course, right?
What you need to do is there's a video I have out there called "I'm a New Notary. What's next?"
Okay.
Look at that video. Hold on. I'm working this computer. So this is the video that I did. Still waiting for the rest of it. I'm a new notary. What's next? And I'm a new. Let me move that out the way. There it is. I'm a new notary. What's next? Back in September of this year, I did it. Sort of blunt in it. I'll be honest with you. Okay. And the reason why I was being blunt in it because there's a lot of people that's looking to just hop in here as a money grab. You need to understand this is it's a real grown person's business and everything. But in this video, I go through the NNA process and I tell people sign up and do the NNA training. Go through them. Now, as I've always and I say it over and over, and I believe I said in this video, a lot of the other notary trainers out there, what they're doing is teaching you how to run a business. They don't help you to understand notarizations. They don't help you to understand that part per your state law. Okay. That's what you got to understand first. I'm not saying you can't take those courses, but the thing is, if they're coming out and just telling you, we don't help you understand how to notarize the documents, we're going to train you on it's weird. I'm gonna train you to understand the documents for is the content and the verbiage of the document, but I'm not going to train you on how to properly notarize in accordance with your state law. If you need to know that, go to the NNA. So then my thing is, then why not just go there first with them? Now everybody wants to go and do this here, and the same trainers will tell you, "Oh, just get the $70 course, and I'll teach you, and I'll help you to pass that." Well, you can do that, but this course here called Notary Essentials. Now, well, in North Carolina, y'all go through training. So y'all go through training, but then they have the signing agent. What the heck is it? The signing agent training. I forget which one it is. Yeah, here it is. Certified Notary Signing Agent Online Training Course. That teaches you things that you need to understand about how to conduct and behave as a signing agent. There's some do's and don'ts, and just being transparent. There's some people out there that are teaching you things as a notary that goes against what the NNA says that we're supposed to do. So I feel that you need to understand what the NNA, who's certifying you, and that's the reason why you're able to do what you do. Well, let me hear what they say first. Now I'm going to compare what they say to what these trainers say. If I'm going to spend $500 on somebody's course, let me hear what they're saying. Okay. Because they're telling you from their perspective for what their experience is in their state. They're not being nationwide. The NNA is being nationwide to help you be in compliance with what the lenders are looking for.
Okay.
The trainers are helping you basically to just market your business and to get money coming in, which is nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be in compliance with what the lenders want. Case in point, a lot of people out there, they teach notaries to have the signer's initial at the bottom of every single page. Well, the problem is the lender, the title company, and the lender may not ask you to do that. But if that's what you was trained to do, that's what you're going to execute. And then you get in there and you got people initialing the bottom of every page, and then the company like, okay, we just ain't gonna use you because you didn't read the directions. The direction says don't have them initial where there's no initial line, but you did it anyway. Well, I did it because that's what I was trained to do. But what did I tell you to do? Who's paying you? Again, I say this over and over. We're so quick to do what the person who we're paying told us to do, but we're ignoring the person who's paying us. So I'm paying Earl to teach me how to do notary. I'm gonna do what Earl said because I'm paying him. But the person who's paying me to do the job and they gave me directions, I'm not going to do what they say. And notaries are doing that left and right. They won't do what the person who is paying them said to do. Here's the instructions, do this, that, and the other. I ain't gonna do that because my training told me to do this. Okay, then that means my question then is, did you do due diligence to ensure that your training is in line with state guidelines as well as what the lenders and the title company want? No, I ain't do that. I mean, that's their job. The trainer, he should make sure. The trainer's not going to make sure. The trainer's just sharing with their information, their experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is nothing wrong with that. So like here's, if you're missing how to notarize the documents, go to the Notary Basic playlist. There's a video up there called A Brief Overview on Understanding Acknowledgements. That's a video that I put out that I did to help people understand. Oops, no, that's the wrong one. It's called A Brief Overview of Understanding Acknowledgements. And so that video will help you to understand that. That is the whole point of that video. And if you get that, if you look at that video, it's going to help you to understand the basics that every notary should understand with regards to acknowledgments. And then I have 2 videos called free loan doc overviews that go into more detail. And the part 2 actually helps you understand where you need to sign and where they need to sign. So I'm addressing the issues that notaries have said, I don't understand, I don't know what to do. And all you have to do is look at the videos, because I'm showing, I got examples that I'm showing up there. You know, as you see here, I got examples of what I'm showing up there. I'm showing you how to do this. But if you're the type of person that like, well, I don't feel like looking at it, just tell me what to do, then I can't help you. Because some of this stuff that you need to actually see it so you could get a feel for it. That when you're out in the field doing it, because some of these same notarization of the acknowledgement areas are going to be the verbiage of them, the way they look, and all of that is going to be on documents that you're going to see in North Carolina.
Okay.
You're going to see some of these same things, and then you'll have, okay, yeah, I know what to do now, because I learned. I didn't just get an answer, because I can give you an answer and say, oh, you're supposed to put this in this field, just like, okay, changing the venue. The venue is the state of and the county of. Now, you say, well, if the state says Texas and the county says Dallas, but I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, okay, well, cool, I should change that. But then what happens if you get it and it says Tennessee and Durham? Well, there's no place called Durham, Tennessee. And I've had that where somebody made the mistake and put the wrong state, but the correct county. Because they put the county of where they're at, I mean, the state of where they're at. And then they were like, oh, I'm going to put the county where the notary is going to be at to help them out. But they forgot to change the state from Tennessee to North Carolina. So now you got to line through that initial and add North Carolina. So you have to, but if you just get it from just one perspective, and then you see something just a little different, it can throw you off if you're not allowing your mind to expand it. Like, okay, wait a minute, what is this document asking me to do? How do I go about doing this? And that's what my goal is to get you, as I call it, get those juices flowing in your brain, so that when you're out there and you can't have, and you don't have cell service, you can't get me on the phone, you can't get the NNA. You already know you're not going to get your notary trainer that you paid $500 to, because they're trying to get more people to pay them $500, and they ain't got time to be spending with you. And your mentor is only trying to just help you out whenever. You got to be able to figure out and use deductive reasoning and logic to figure out, what do I need to do? How do I figure this out? What is this document asking me? And give it what it's asking. And again, and this is where people's comprehension level comes in. So a lot of people, as I'm finding out, and even my wife has found out with her cosmetology school, people are struggling. People are struggling with comprehension. So just being for real with you, if you struggle with comprehension when you was in school, you may have a problem when it comes to this business. And that is why some people are like, just tell me the answer. Because them trying to look at a video, them trying to comprehend what the video is saying, and the other subtle nuances of that video is too much for them. And I get that. I get that. But you got to push yourself to the point of properly comprehending. That's why I call this today's thing, putting yourself in a position to learn. How do I go about learning? Running away from the learning by just getting answers is not the key. You got to go in there and learn. And if you're having comprehension issues, then you got to seek whatever professional help. You can go to a library. They got classes. Go to a community college to help you with the comprehension part of it. That's why I keep telling people, and that's part of the reason why I repeat stuff so much. Look at my videos. You can play back the video over and over again. And I always tell people, when you're hearing new information, jot down two things. Jot down what you understand and what you don't. Now you can divide and say, okay, well, this is what he said about such and such. This is what she said. And even with these $500 notary trainers. Okay, notary trainer, you said this. So I understand this, but I don't understand that. Now, when I come and get help from you, I'm asking you specifically, help me to understand this, what I said that I don't understand. Rather than trying to deal with the overall subject, which encompasses stuff that you do understand and stuff that you don't. I ain't worried about what I do understand this. And I can give you a brief, here's what I do understand. I understand boom, boom, boom. And they can confirm that, yep, you're right. What you don't understand. And I always ask people, what don't you understand? And people get upset with me, but I'm like, you're calling me because you don't understand something. So what is it that you don't understand? I don't understand none of it. Okay, well, then we have to start over from square one. Then I start from square one trying to show somebody and educate them on something. No. See, I understand that. And I understand. Well, why didn't you say that in the first place? I asked you the question, what do you understand or what don't you understand? You told me you don't understand none of it. So now I'm going back to the beginning, and then you getting upset thinking that I'm belittling you and calling you dumb and stupid because I'm trying to teach you from ground zero. And now you're telling me, oh, well, no, I do understand that. Well, you should have said that in the beginning. That's why I got a video out there called Business Communication, how we communicate with each other is key. If you're asking for help and you're only giving me part of the information, part of the question, the answer, just saying, well, I just need to know, I don't know how to do this. But you're not telling me that it's one little thing that you really don't understand, but 99% of the things you do, that one thing that you're not telling me that you truly understand throws off my answer. And then I'm giving you an answer that you're like, well, why are you giving me this answer? Case in point, somebody asked me, do I need an attorney? And I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's up to you. Then they came back later on in the conversation and was like, well, I was asking you because I wanted to know whether I needed an attorney to help me with my operating agreement. Well, you didn't say that.
Yeah.
You just said, do I need an attorney? And I don't have one, so I guess not, maybe. But if I had not dug a little deeper, I would have never known. And if I would have just said, no, you don't need one. And I told him, I said, you would have ran off with that. And then you find out you do need an attorney and you got your business screwed up because you followed my advice, but you're not going to admit, well, I never told Griff the whole story. You're going to say, well, Griff gave me this answer. And see, I'm smart enough and I understand that, people. So when y'all call me and ask me these things and I sit there and seem like I'm beating around the bush, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm protecting myself. Because I know people will not always tell me up front what the real deal is. They will give me pieces and just be sporadic with it. And I'm sitting here like, okay, there's more to this. And then I have to dig. And then it's like, well, can't you just answer the question? No. Do you understand this? Do you not do this? This, that, and the other. I'm digging because I want to make sure that I give you the proper answer. Okay. So if you don't want that, then I hate to sound like this, but don't call. Or if you do call, be clear and tell me, okay, well, I'm asking this question because there's 3 options that I'm looking at. Don't tell me, well, what do they sign this document? Okay, I don't know if they need to sign it because I don't see the document. So what is it that you see? Well, they just asked for a signature. Okay, a signature for what? Oh, well, see, there's these 3 options. Oh, now I get it. So there's 3 options and they got to choose from that. That's different than just, do they need to sign this? Okay. You get what I'm saying? This is how we have to communicate with one another, or at least I would say communicate with me so that I can help you to the best of my ability. That's why I come across the way I do. And I know it rubs people the wrong way. That's why my videos are not 5 minutes, they're 15 minutes, but they're not 5 minutes, because I understand people sometimes will not be clear on their intent or what they're really asking. And as one person told me, they asked me, they said, well, do I need to have a separate building for my business? I was like, I don't know. And I said straight up, you grown enough to figure it out yourself. I don't know. You are. I mean, you grown. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. And it's like, well, I figured you would have understood what I meant by that. So you purposefully asked me a cryptic question, hoping that I would just figure it out on my own what your intent was. Okay. That ain't me, and I ain't putting that kind of brain energy out there. Okay. I mean, why should I? You have the question. You have the concern. You need help. So tell me what it is that you need so that I can be empowered to help you. Okay. Because when you ask me, well, do I need to have my own separate office outside of my house? I don't know. Is your house small? You got crazy acting kids? Your husband don't want to support you? Your wife don't want to support you? Do you even understand the real estate market? Can you afford paying the rent for another building along with the utilities that come with that? Because you're not going to get a building and then just be sitting in there with the lights out. You get what I'm saying? I mean, all of these are factors, and then you're asking me, well, should I get a building? Have you considered all of the factors that are involved? That's not for me to do. The only thing I can do is propose the question, and then they'll say, well, you didn't answer my question. You can answer your own question.
Mhm.
Can you afford it? That's the first thing, really. Well, I don't know. How much do they cost? I don't know how much they cost in your area. I'm not in your area. Do the research. This is the kind of stuff that's slowing people down.
Mm.
And you get through that, you'll
Mhm.
flourish.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me that to explain how you're set up and how you're wired. And so basically, I need to have my question, not only my question, but why I'm asking the question so you can understand what I'm needing in that particular
Correct.
moment.
And
Okay.
look, you do that with your kid.
Mm-hmm.
Your kid come, I need some new clothes. Wait a minute, I just bought you clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tomorrow what? Tomorrow's Christmas. Kids gonna be getting clothes, and then come January, and then then a week after they start back to school, your kid talking about, I need some new clothes.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Why you need new clothes? Well, the reason why is because they saw Shaquanda and they saw Raekwon with the little cool kid pants on that cost $700, and you got them the daggone Wrangler jeans that cost $32.50. And they
Mm-hmm.
feel embarrassed. And it's like, okay, now you being clear. Okay, son, daughter, you want the cool kid clothes that's gonna cost half of our rent. I got it. No, I ain't buying that for you. Now that I understand. You see what I'm saying? And I use that as an
Interesting.
example because my oldest son did that, wanted that. And we actually took him to the place and said, look, okay, these jeans cost $700. We ain't gonna be able to eat for a couple of months if we buy this for you. Just so you'll know. So that means, we make enough money that you ain't on free lunch. But if we spend $700, that's our grocery money. So just know that at least for the rest of this month and probably half of next month, you ain't gonna get no whatever's in the house. That's all we got to eat.
Yeah, that
You get what I'm
makes sense.
saying?
Yeah, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying.
So, and that's just basic communication skills that we have with each other and everything. So always look at whoever I'm communicating with. Let me empower them to give me the answer. Now, let me throw this and I'll let you go. If you're trying to give the person the correct feel for you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, I don't want to hear that.
Mm.
I don't need to know all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're either doing it one or two reasons, because they truly do have enough experience that they know where you're going and they can get you the answer because of their experience. And in some cases that you'll hear me do that to you, you start asking me a question, I'll be like, stop. And then I give you, and I'm like, okay, I know where you're going. Or that person don't really feel like hearing it because they don't feel like hearing your sob story. Case in point, that's why a lot of these so-called mentors, you talking about paying them for a one-on-one, and then you go to do this one-on-one session with them, and you're sitting in a Zoom with 15, 20 other people. If I don't want to hear your sob story about why your husband and your spouse and these people don't allow to support you in your family history, what's the best way to keep your mouth shut on that? Throw you in there with a whole bunch of other strangers that you don't know, because you ain't going to air your dirty laundry out to me in front of these people who you don't know. I'm just hipping y'all to the game.
Yeah. Yes. That's
See,
something definitely to think about.
if we one-on-one, it's going to be hard for me to just shut you down and, let you. I don't really feel like hearing what you, unless I fake some kind of phone call. I tell my assistant, hey, at this point, hit me up with a phone call. Hey, yeah, okay, cha, I got to go. I got to see you later, change, and I get out of there. But if I have you in a room with a bunch of other people, who you don't know, you are not going to talk about the fact that you and your husband was arguing last night over why the printer cost $700. You're not going to bring that up in a group Zoom meeting, and you don't know these people.
That's
You're not going to
true.
do that. So now I got my $300 out of you, and I didn't have to hear your sob story. I'll see you next month. Make sure you hit me on the first of the month with that 300, and we'll do it all again. Or if you want to be able to give them your sob story, you're going to have to pay them a little bit more money. And why am I paying somebody $600 to tell them my sob story? For them really to sit there and be like, I don't really have nothing to say to you. because it's not in their heart to help you in that level, in that
Gotcha.
direction. Because for some people, they need help out of their stressor before they can move into actually conducting the business. So I got issues with my family. I need to be able to move into going into the business, but I can't because I need to know how to fix these issues with my family. So I'm going to this notary trainer, this mentor, and they have nothing for me in that regard because that is not something that they even want to deal with. So I'm back at square one. So now if you don't have the ability within yourself to get to climb out of the hole that you're in so you can do this business, you'll never get moving because you're stuck emotionally into some mess that you really don't feel like dealing with because your husband, your wife, your kids, your job, your in-laws, people, and you're trying to figure out how to get strength to deal with that so you can move forward. And most notary trainers ain't ready to do that. They don't even want to deal with you on that.
I guess it's definitely a lot of moving pieces to notary than more than what people think, the basis of it. And you can't just jump out there. And that's something I didn't want to do. I want to understand exactly what I'm doing before I get into it. Yeah.
So this business is doable. You just have to realize that, okay, what is, like my wife said, your actions, your aim, your actions, intents, and motivation. I think that's how she said.
Attitudes, intentions, and motives.
Motives, yeah. Attitudes, intentions, and motive. Okay, this person, what you're trying to do is train me in this thing. You're trying to make some money. You might give me a 30-day guarantee, money back guarantee. You might not. So if you're getting a 30-day money back guarantee or a 15-day money back guarantee, it is in your best interest to hop dead smack into whatever they're trying to train you so you can make a quick assessment whether it's even worth the money, because if it's not, you need to get your money back.
Okay.
Don't sit here and somebody say, yeah, you got 30-day or 15-day or 20-day money back guarantee, and then you wait till the one day after that to start getting with it. Okay. And now you realize on day 25 or day 35, oh no, I ain't really down for this. You can't get your money back. Now you in it to win it.
That makes sense. Okay.
All right, Miss Chan. So you got my info. Shoot me an email so that way I can send you the link so you can get with the masterclass.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you. Right. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, party people. We about to bounce out of here. I know she got a client coming and everything, and then I gotta do one quick house inspection and everything. But I just want to thank everybody. If depending on how things, I might do one on next Friday, because I was thinking Christmas and New Year's Day was on Friday. That's why I was saying last week I might not do them, but since it's the eves, I probably do them and everything. But me and the wife just wanted to come on and try to encourage everybody. With this business, you're going to do fine if you get your focus right. If you go in there and take responsibility for your own notarial education, build up your notarial muscle memory, all of that, and you will be fine and you will be successful. I'm here to help. And one of the things me and my wife are willing to do if you need help is if there's a couple out there, because sometimes it's hard with couples. If you are married and you need some help between you and your spouse, figuring out how to work this business together, because sometimes it's hard. We don't know. Sometimes we may not know how to support one another. What you see between me and my wife now, it took years for us to develop that. And she might be hopping off because I think her client is there and everything. But we took some time. It took years for us to learn how to work with each other to get to where we're at now. And we're more than happy to help couples out. We've been trying to find time, and I know she's off from her school, so maybe this next week coming up, if you and your spouse feel that you need some help, need to just talk, hit me up, and we can probably do a Zoom call and and sit down over Zoom and talk and see what we can do to help y'all move in the right direction. Because when your spouse is there to back you and to support you, it helps you through the tough times and everything. So that's what we do for each other. That's what we believe that y'all should be doing for each other. And we're committed to help you out. And it has nothing to do with just Notary. Again, I mean, any business that you're dealing with, because you got to be able to work with each other and support each other, irregardless of the business and everything. And if you got problems with the kids, just put the kids in the backyard for about 3 days. Don't feed them. They'll straighten up after that. Guaranteed. Just okay. You can feed them some bread and water, or put some honey on there. Put a little honey on the thing, and some lemon in the water, and put them in the backyard.
We saying all of that stuff, and neither him nor our sons are you going for none of that. So
that's it. Yeah. And kids will be fine. The kids will be fine. They'll be fine. That's all. You know. And stuff like that. So kids act up too much, just take the doors off their room and put the door in the attic and all of that. So, you know, just that'll straighten the kids out real quick to straighten the kids out. Don't try that with your wife. You know, that ain't gonna work and stuff. All right, party people, we out and everything. Thank y'all again for all of what you've done. Appreciate you. Y'all are fabulous, fantastic. And if you need help with anything, you know, I know I say that, and I know that can be sort of open-ended, as my wife told me. That can be sort of open-ended, but I'm here to help you, and I will do everything that I can to help you once I understand what you need help in. If I don't understand what you need help in, that makes it hard. And know that the answers that I give you is going to be the answer. What the answer that I give you is going to be based off of what the answer that I give you is going to be based off of what I would do, especially when I'm talking about calling a title company and all that. I'm not going to just be making up stuff just to be making it up. And I would do everything I can to give you receipts on why I'm giving you such and such answer and everything. I'm not just going to throw something out there just to be throwing it and you out there lost and everything and stuff. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. She's out. I'm out. Peace.